Rooted and Rising family, welcome in. Take a deep breath and let your spirit settle for a moment. As we begin, the cards used for today's reading will be displayed during this introductory portion so you can take them in, you can connect with them, and allow your own intuition to speak before we move into the message itself. Right? You allow spirit to speak to you through those cards that you see, however your spiritual team sees fit, right? And your own intuition plays into that. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not. So if there are parts of this that you don't feel pertains to you, obviously leave it. But if there's parts you say, yes, this is me, of course, receive it. That's up to you. It is okay if it doesn't pertain to you at all. If there's just things that you can pick up and learn for wisdom, or you just like to listen, there's no problem with that, right? Not every part of the collective message, will belong to every person, right? Again, and that is quite all right. Masculine and feminine energies, when they are mentioned in this reading, they are just that, energies, not gender. So if we get a card, something like, or we could take something like the Queen of Swords. She is a feminine energy, a feminine card, but that doesn't mean we're speaking of a female when we're talking about that card, right? Because the Queen of Swords is discerning, right? Her own life experiences have taught her discernment, and so she rules in rationality based on what she's lived through. So that could point to male or female, right? Okay. So today's decks we are working with, the Ethereal Visions Luna edition. That's the tarot deck we're using. That particular deck, and that edition of that deck, has 2 cards in it that are just specific to that deck. We happen to have one in this spread, all right? That is the Artist, and that is unique to that deck. So right out of the World, which, completion, they have 2 other cards. They have the Artist and they have the Well, and we happen to get the Artist for this particular reading. Okay, we are also from our oracles using the Bibliophile Oracle deck. Those are the 2 cards on the bottom row at the end on the right. Then we have from the Cosmic Insights Oracle deck. That's the bottom middle column. And the first 2 cards on the second row is from our What's Gossip Oracle deck. All right, let's get into the message. Let's ring the sound bowl. Always a beautiful sound to me. I haven't done that before here, but we can start it, right? All right, Rooted and Rising, let's get into our message. This is the plot twist you never saw coming. Okay, Rooted and Rising. Boy, I just got a lot of energy today. I don't know. I need Thorodin. Maybe because I slept a long time today. I usually don't. Anyway, Rooted and Rising. This again is the plot twist you never saw coming. So this message feels like it is speaking to someone who has, or a group of you actually, who has been standing between 2 worlds, right? For quite some time now. One chapter is closing or ending. Another chapter is trying to begin or has begun, really. And the longer that this person or these people, you Rooted and Rising, stands in the doorway between those 2 chapters, the more uncomfortable the doorway becomes, right? You got to make a choice, left or right. In or out, as growing up in in households, and I was gonna say Black households because that's what I'm used to. In or out, we always used to hear that. In or out. All right, you don't keep coming back in. Back when children used to play outside, you couldn't keep going in and out of the house. Your parents did not care if you were dying of thirst. You were not about to keep opening and closing up the door. But anyway, see, I've already started to going off. I'm sorry. All right, so in or out. All right, make a decision. All right, the longer you stay in the in-between, the more uncomfortable the doorway gets, okay? A decision has to be made. So Spirit keeps showing someone who already knows what they want. Okay, so it's not like it's an unclear decision on what you want rooted in rising. You're clear on what you want. You're clear on who you want. All right, this could be person, situation. Okay, as in take the part that resonates with you or fits your situation, or don't force it to fit. Right. Anyway, so it's Spirit is speaking to someone who already knows who they want or what they want. Okay, so that's not the issue. All right, they know what direction that their heart is pulling them to go in. They know what chapter is ending, but at the same time, there's understanding that real life transitions are rarely as simple as closing one door, opening the other, right? If this is people involved, there are people involved, right? If there's with people come what? Opinions, all right? Consequences, sometimes there are consequences or responsibilities, right? It's not always black and white, in other words, right? But despite all of that, Spirit keeps saying that what is unfolding now, was never meant to be avoided forever, or it can't be avoided forever, right? That doorway that you're standing there is pretty uncomfortable, all right? It was always going to arrive, all right? It's inevitable, right? It's coming, right? Because you can't stay still. I mean, you could, but again, that would not speak to Rooted and Rising. You are not a group that stays still. You are a group of movement, expansion, right? Always seeing the bigger picture and always going for the next thing, obviously not recklessly, but you are a group of movement, right? You're not about stagnation. So, it's going to arrive. And it. Sometimes it's like, doing that paper at the last doggone minute. It's going to get done. You had all this time to do it, but heck, it's due tomorrow. So you up all night working on something you had all this time to work on, right? So you're trying to get that paper in. It's going to happen. It's going to arrive, all right? So let's start off with the card that we have first from the tarot, from this edition of the tarot. Again, the traditional tarot deck will not have this card in it, but the ethereal deck, they have the ethereal deck, but this is the Luna edition, and that's the edition that has the two other cards, the artist being one of them. So the artist is, again, a unique to this deck. So don't, go get a tarot deck and, wonder why you don't see that card in there, right? But it's about creation, right? It's about vision, passion, and bringing something into existence that first exists only in the imagination. I have always marveled at people who can paint, who can draw. I cannot even do a stick figure. I am horrible at art. All right, but people who can do that, that's literally the card. They can create something out of nothing. They see it, right? They see it and they can bring it forth, right? They can manifest it. Very magician's card, where their own efforts are manifesting something. But they see it visually first. They see it in their mind, like, yes, okay, what I'm doing is going to have this and that and that and that, and they can put it together. It's wonderful, right? I have always marveled at people who can do that. It is a beautiful thing to me. But anyway, the card itself, again, is just about that. Creation, passion, bringing something into existence that first exists only in the imagination. So it wasn't in the physical yet. So almost like speaking to what's internal, all right? So it can relate to everybody, right? Not literally making artwork, but speaking or bringing it into existence that first was just internal or in the imagination, right? So what Spirit is communicating through this card is that the life trying to emerge now did not appear overnight, all right? This wasn't a random feeling. It wasn't impulsive. It wasn't an impulsive decision, right? It wasn't some passing fascination. This has been forming quietly beneath the surface for quite some time, right? For some of you, a very long time, all right? So the artist appears when someone, can no longer, someone, or a nice deal of you, collective, can no longer ignore what their soul is trying to create. You can't bury it anymore. It's coming up, honey. You can't suppress it anymore. You can't put it off anymore. You have to deal with it, or you have to do it, or make the decision, or go for it, right? whatever it looks like for you. All right. And Spirit keeps emphasizing that there is a difference between maintaining a life, right? And then it's a difference between maintaining a life and creating one. Those are two different things. All right. Maintaining a life, I was about to say a lie, but maintaining a life, we look good. Oh, speaking to myself, the man, as opposed to creating one, right? Building something real. All right. This one looks good on paper. Behind the doors, we hate each other. Oh, we just went to the function, but we cursed each other out first. Then we arrived like we were so happy. I can laugh at myself for the right, so I can laugh. Okay, I'm just saying, I'm not judging. And I have seen that in my own upbringing. Okay, so, all right. And I don't know, In Living Color is an older show, was an old couple that had been married for a long time. And every second they were just trying to hurt each other, just trying to kill each other. And at the end, somebody would walk in and they would end up in a very compromising position where they looked like they were in love. And they were really trying to kill each other. And someone would walk in and they would, Grandma, Grandpa, the spark hasn't gone. And they would smile and say, we're still together. That's what it was. That's what that reminds me of. Okay, there's a difference between maintaining a life and then also creating one. All right, I can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm a storyteller, so I will go out very easily. Okay, there are seasons rooted in rising where we survive. All right, I think we've all been in survivor mode, once or twice in our life. All right. And there are seasons where we fulfill obligations. All right, and there are seasons where we simply get through the day. All right. But eventually there comes a point where the soul begins to ask for something more. And rooted in rising, I know, you've been having that tug. Again, you're not a group that is satisfied with just the mundane. All right. There is something in you that recognizes and wants more and yearns for more, but not in an unhealthy way. You just know that there is more and there's something that you were built for, all right? And that is the yearning, all right? And even if it's just a connection, sometimes you just like, okay, there was a connection that I was built for, all right? And the yearning is trying to find that connection. It doesn't always mean there's some big life-changing thing. Often there is. Usually if you have a yearning for a type of connection, it is because you two are to come together to build it together. All right. Usually it's not done alone. That's why you have a yearning for a specific type of connection. All right. And that's why every person just won't do. Even if there's nothing really wrong with that person, unalignment is unalignment. Okay. All right. And rooted in rising, you have to be careful for the unalignments because they are attracted to you. Whew, like moths to a flame, right? But anyway, okay, anyway, there's a point where the soul says, I want something authentic. I want something meaningful, something that feels like it belongs to you, right? So collective, wherever this is resonating with whoever it's resonating, Spirit is saying that you spend enough time building a life that works on paper. We're still together. We look good. We sat in the church front row together holding hands in matching outfits. They'll never know. Oh, yes, Lord. Anyway. So anyway. Enough is enough of that, right? And you've had enough of it. All right. You've had enough of it. You're not willing to sit in that anymore. So you're being called forward. You're being called toward building a life that actually feels alive and worth living, right? You don't want a miserable life. You don't want that we're still together, but we're miserable. You are like, no, I'm not doing this and I can't do this. And likely your divine counterpart is also mirroring you, in those moments like, all right. So you both are probably mirroring each other, whether you realize it or not, or whether you've met each other or not. All right. So what this could look like, rooted in rising family, again, feeling pulled toward a completely different future than the one you originally planned. Maybe you already had something, somebody, and you were going to do this and you were going to do it that way and it was going to turn out that way. It looked good on paper. Y'all look good together, or the job looked good. You had that good government job and it looked good, but you're miserable. All right. You got with somebody that wasn't really aligned with you in the first place, but they look good on paper, and you got pressured because people don't know how to mind their business. I'm not judging, talking about myself too. And you're together, and you're supposed to be because I don't know, whatever. That's just what you're supposed to do. All right. Well, all right. But anyway. You're feeling pulled towards a completely different future than what you originally planned, all right? Because what you originally planned wasn't built on anything that could sustain itself. Nothing firm. And I can only, speak to how I grew up in Christianity. And again, a lot of people who practice hoodoo will use the Bible for their working. So, Christians will know the house, built against itself cannot stand. You talk about a lot of firm shaky foundations, and how nothing is going to stand on that. You could take that as wisdom, or you could take it as however you practice. Okay, but no, it wasn't built on anything that could sustain itself. All right, you might have had what you thought was going to be wonderful as a career, and it offered the good benefits. It offered the income, but you're miserable. You're miserable. The people at work make you miserable. The work makes you miserable. The people are miserable. Everybody's miserable. But it pays the bills. So I'm not saying throw away your job. I'm just saying you internally are not satisfied with that. You still want more. All right. All right. Or you had the connection. However, it looked like, once again, looked good on paper. I don't know, he or she was fine as hell. They look good. You look good. You look like the power couple. Everyone's educated. Everyone's nice looking. Everyone knows how to smile and how to act socially. But behind closed doors, they're selfish. It's toxic, manipulative. They want their way, stubborn, my way or the highway, gonna punish you if you don't do what they want you to do, or I don't know, controlling, abusive. But you're together because everyone thinks you should. And if we break up, we don't want to hear nobody's mouths, right? Okay. It goes both ways. So situation, person, however it fits. It doesn't have to even be a romantic connection. It could be even connections with family. All right. Okay. Realizing that version of yourself no longer fits inside of old circumstances. That's what it could also look like. All right. You are no longer that anymore. Where at one time that would have been okay with you. But you've grown, matured, you've woken up to things. And so that no longer fits who you are, either that situation or that person. So, or you once might have been a fit, been a fit, not benefits. Well, benefits. Somebody might have been with somebody for the benefits. There you go. Where you once might have been okay together, a good match. You aren't anymore because one of you has matured and the other one has not, all right? Or again, that dream job at one point was wonderful. It might have been a stepping stone to get you somewhere, but now it is not a good fit for you, okay? It doesn't always just start off where something is horrible, or you just know it's horrible from the start. I didn't listen, so I'm just saying, you don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, sound advice. That's why you got to get you somebody who's not afraid to hurt your feelings. I'm not going to just tell you what you want to hear. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at myself. Youth is so silly. But anyway, this could also look like, we're not going to get through this. I'm sorry. Feeling a strong desire to create, to build, love, or live more authentically. All right. That's what the artist card and what it represents could feel or look like, okay? And I think the last point, that feeling a strong desire to create, to build, to love, or live more authentically is the real big one, all right? Again, you are builders. So you're going to feel like there's something else. All right. There's something more. All right. It doesn't mean that, again, it's some huge mega thing, but you're just not satisfied with where it is now, and you're looking for real authenticity. All right, what really works for you. Okay. We'll move on to the Ace of Cups. All right, which is the new emotional beginning. It's such a beautiful card. I love it. All right, emotional fulfillment rooted in rising, and I love it because I'm like, that's what's coming your way. Or it's already started from, from this message. Most of this, you've kind of, the baby steps are already there. It's been planted over a period of time. All right, it's just, you're just in the time now where it's getting ready to manifest, as in come out in the physical. All right, it's no longer internal. It's no longer hidden, and it can't be. Sooner or later we're gonna have to deal with it anyway. Some people, I don't want to, I was gonna go off. I'm just to a point in my life where I have surpassed giving. Let me tell you something that y'all may not know about me. I have a potty mouth. And I was about to say something where I don't give two F's what people think. All right. Yes, I have a potty mouth, and I have always, even in childhood, you could, my parents and siblings can atone. I have always had a potty mouth. Okay. So I have just reached a point where I don't give two knuckle sandwiches about what someone has to say about my life or me. Now, has it brought some hard lessons when it came to listening to sound advice? Yes. Has it allowed me to learn and maybe go towards things that other people would otherwise just sit down and be satisfied with just the status quo? Then yeah, you can have an opinion all day long, and your opinion may be right. I'm not a stubborn where I can't admit when I'm wrong. But if you have something to say about my life, I don't, you got an opinion about it. Well, that's just what it is, your opinion. So I have long surpassed giving two shits about what someone has to say. And you're going to have to come to that point, okay? Because people, with what is coming, whether this is love, or whether this is a circumstance or situation, people are going to talk. All right? It's coming from the inside to the out. You are going to have to be okay with people saying what they want and thinking what they want. Because you cannot control what people say, what people think. All right? That's not something that you can control. You can control you. So, whether you're entitled to your opinions, but it doesn't change what I do. And it doesn't necessarily change what I think. And so you may have to take a little bit of that on rooting and rising for what is about to surface. Okay? All right. So anyway, Ace of Cups, new emotional beginnings. All right. So what has been in the works for some time now, emotionally, as in internally, what has been unfolding over a period of time for a lot of you, okay? That's getting ready to surface because you can't stay in the doorway, all right? Is bringing emotional fulfillment, all right? Love, vulnerability, and the opening of the heart, all right? And there's nothing to be afraid of in this and in this connection. If it's a connection, you might have been leaving something where it was not okay or safe to be open emotionally, because either it was either not reciprocated or treated very coldly. All right, but anyway, Spirit is taking this much deeper than just romance. Okay, it's not just a little wine and dine, and little fun in the bedroom. It's a little deeper than that. Okay. So what Spirit is showing is someone who has spent a long time, again, being emotionally careful, as I mentioned before, whether this is a situation or with people or a person. All right. So someone maybe has been a long time being emotionally careful, and someone who learned how to manage emotions instead of fully expressing them. And again, that speaks to what's been unfolding. So it doesn't just speak to if it's a connection, what is being left behind, but also speaks to what was unfolding, because you might have been in a situation where you had to suppress those emotions. It couldn't come out or come forward for whatever reason. Okay, you might have been in a situationship or in something else, or again, if it's a circumstance like, I don't know, work or whatever else, it might have been something that still you had to keep inside. All right, whatever it looks like for you. I'm just throwing out scenarios. All right, all right. Anyway, so being emotionally careful. All right, the collective has spent a while doing that. All right. Someone learned how to manage emotions instead of fully expressing them, and probably was not able to for whatever reason. All right. So someone who became accustomed to navigating tension. All right. Again, this can be a work dynamic as well as romance, whatever that looks like from you, whether this is situationship, marriage, living together, just sleeping together, whatever y'all want to call it. I'm just saying, whatever type of connection it is. All right, someone became accustomed to navigating tension, disappointment, misunderstandings, or emotional distance. That genuine emotional connection almost feels unfamiliar. All right, you're not comfortable with being open with your emotions. You've had to guard them. And this doesn't necessarily mean it was always a romantic. All right, sometimes it's a family dynamic. I know we are not a family. Is it on both? Especially my mom's side, we're not an overly emotional, outwardly emotional family. All right, as in hugs, kisses, like it's like what the hell are you doing? It's like, no, honey, no, we're not a hugger. It's like it's almost everybody walks in and they're all like business partners. Hey, how's it going? All right, keep your distance. So I'm just saying, I know growing up, the first time somebody ever wanted affection, I was like, oh, what the hell are you doing? Too close for me. I don't want you to hold my hand. You standing next to me, that's good. That's good enough. The hell is going on? But I never learned that because I didn't know what the hell that was. I used to have my own parents like, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, everybody is not emotionally open or affectionate in that way. But anyway, emotional openness, almost feels unfamiliar to this person. All right, they were in a connection, whether it's family, whether it's a romantic dynamic, or even, I don't know, it could even be a work thing. Even work, you're not so like, romantically open like this. But sometimes you're not free to express either your ideas or thoughts. You know what I mean? And especially if it's something that, you have in mind that could really help. All right, that does affect your emotions when you're dismissed. So it's not always a romantic connection or a family connection dynamic. All right. However it pertains to you, rooted and rising. All right, it's just again, genuine emotional connection almost feels unfamiliar. All right, and that's what makes the Ace of Cups so very important here. All right, because it's not about just a new relationship. All right, it's about an emotional truth. All right, emotional truth. All right, the kind of truth that can no longer be pushed aside simply because acknowledging it would make life a bit complicated, right? All right, there is something about this connection that continues to return to the surface, rooted and rising, no matter how practical, logical, or cautious someone tries to be. All right, however that pertains to you, collective. All right, that's why I said you're going to have to take on that energy of, so what? There's an old jazz song. What is it? Who sang that? It's going to come back to me. Oh, it will. Anyway, anyway. It's an old jazz song that pretty much is saying that. What was that, Billie Holiday? I don't know if that was Billie Holiday's song. But anyway, I hate that, but it will come back to me. Oh, anyway, so anyway, this is not just about a new connection. This is emotional truth, all right? It can't be, it is just something that you probably have been pushing aside for or trying to bury for quite some time, but hey, ain't no getting rid of it, boo. It's time to come on up, all right, and deal with it. All right, so anyway, there's something about this connection that continues to return to the surface. I'm mad I can't remember that song. All right, no matter how practical, logical, or cautious you try to be rooted and rising, all right, and what keeps popping up is because, or what spirit is communicating is because it's genuine. It's genuine emotional alignment, all right? It has a way of refusing to disappear, all right? All right, especially if this is a soul connection. It's like, boop, boop, boop. You keep trying to ignore me. Nope, nope. You tried to bury me. Nope. Oh. Anyway. No, I got another song in my head. All right, anyway. Anyway. It's just not something you're going to be able to bear forever. Okay. And genuine emotional alignment is not going to disappear. All right. You can't delay it. It has been unfolding over time again, but you have to know it's divine timing. There's something that had to be done. There's some things that had to be ironed out in both parties, whether even, again, not just romantic. There's something had to be ironed out in you. And if it is romantic, both parties, or if it's just partnership, because, you know, even if it's just a partnership as in working with someone else, collaborating with someone else, all right? There's some things that had to be ironed out, worked out in them before you could come together and work together, all right? But anyway, you can't delay it, you can't question it, you can't analyze it, all right? Eventually the heart begins demanding honesty, all right? It's saying, hello, you've been ignoring me and I'm not going away, all right? It's like, you're going to be truthful with you and you're going to stop playing games with yourself, all right? Just, you're going to be honest, all right? It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but I'm not going to give you rest until you are honest with yourself, all right? So for some of you, all right, this card is also speaking about finally allowing yourself to receive the kind of emotional support, affection, and understanding rooted in rising that you have spent years pouring into everybody else, all right? And you likely have been, right? Especially for those who have been in unreciprocated situationships, whether romantic or not. You have been likely the one pouring into everyone else, all right? Fixing everything for everybody else, all right? Tiptoeing around somebody else's emotions. Oh, let me hold you like a goddamn baby. And you're ground. Oh, the truth hurts your feelings. Oh, you know what I mean? I gotta hold you up too. You've likely been doing that for everybody else. Let me fix your mess. All right, let me fix everybody's financial problems. Oh my Lord. Okay, well, I guess let me pay for that. All right, let me go over here and clean that up too. Oh, I'm sorry, that hurts your feelings. All right, now you want me to placate your feelings. All right, you spent years likely pouring into everybody else, whether it was romantic connections, family connections, even at work. Hey, you've been holding the building down. Just you doing the work. I'm laughing. This doesn't even pertain to this. I'm just laughing at my quarterly review of my boss. You know, he went over my stuff. He was just like, yeah, between you and I won't say her real name, you guys just work a lot of overtime, and thank goodness between you two, you prevented the entire department from having to go into mandatory overtime because you two work so much. I realized we all had to go into mandatory overtime, and I don't want to give up my weekends. Well, thank God for me, right? And the poor other lady. I mean, he was nice with it. No, my boss is very nice. He's always looking out for me. You know, he was like, she said she feels obligated. She don't feel obligated. She one of those, you know. I'm not gonna go into that. She don't feel no obligated. But anyway, he said, but I do want to make sure you don't get burned out. You don't feel obligated, that you just have to come on in and, you know, just because you feel, you know, bad and you don't want to do the work. You know, and I appreciate it. Though, you know, you don't have to worry about me feeling obligated to do overtime. He said, I don't know if it's just obligation or the pay. I said, well, honey, I don't feel obligated to spend any extra time. So obligation is not the issue for me, okay? He said, oh, okay, all right, so it's just the money. Yeah, dude. But anyway, I'm just saying. So you could just be holding the whole building down, you know, pouring into everybody else, right? But anyway, and it's time. This card here is saying it's time for you to be poured in. All right. Somebody to extend that into emotional safety into you. All right. You're okay to express your wants, your desires, your feelings. You are okay to even be supported. Not necessarily treated like a baby. You know, I had used that example because people who, you know, always need some emotional support and always having an emotional crisis is like you got to treat them like a baby and they're grown, you know. You got to walk around their feelings. Well, this might make them mad. Can't say that. Well, even though I'm pointing out something true, you know, they're going to break down and have a meltdown off of the truth. All right. It's different with you, rooted and rising. And this, you know, you're safe to express how you feel and receive emotional support, which sometimes just looks like validation. All right. Sometimes it's just expressing ideas, expressing plans, and discussing it with somebody that, you know, is a healthy individual who can listen, take some things in, maybe give you advice, and for the most part, just give you support. And support sometimes is saying, oh, well, that's wonderful. Never thought of it that way. Well, that sounds great. How does something like that work? I don't know. Just validating your thoughts, your ideas. All right. And yes, obviously being affectionate. Okay. I've learned that affection is okay. So I'm good with affection. All right. Maybe you want to hold hands. That's fine. I won't look at you like, what the hell? The hell are you trying to do? Trying to hold my hand, how dare you? Anyway, you know, love languages are different. All right, maybe you just want affection. All right, that may not be my type of love language. It may be yours. Okay, but I can understand that you may need that. That's what compromise is for. And because you need that to feel supported, then that is fine. Then that is what I'll give you, because I would expect that you would learn mine and give me mine, I guess. You know. Anyway, it's time for you to be poured into emotionally. All right. You've done the pouring. It's time for somebody to pour into you, but you to pour into each other equally. But this is just saying that's what's coming for you. Where you were lacking in that and feeling unsupported emotionally, well, that's what's on its way for you. Where your ideas were dismissed at work and you were, you know, I guess maybe you were dismissed at not being maybe, I don't want to say qualified enough. I guess sometimes it's like, you know, we're here, you know, enough based on just what your position is. So they just dismissed you, all right? Maybe we're stepping into something that's more aligned where people are listening to even just your ideas, your creative ideas, or work, or what you think would either work with a program or something, how to make something flow better, you know, those things like that. All right? Okay. All right, there's softness again with this card. There's healing with this card because emotional healing is wonderful. All right, if you can allow someone to come give you that support, it heals you emotionally. All right, you're not closed off. All right, and then it pours and trickles into every aspect of your life. All right, not saying you're pouring your heart out everywhere you go. All right, but you do have a lightness to you. All right, you're not so guarded. All right. This is an emotional replenishment. Think of it that way. That's a good word for it, right? Replenishing you, because the Ace of Cups, you know, the cups is a vessel. So it's replenishing you emotionally, all right? That's what this divine connection is coming to do, whether it's to do with romance or something else. All right? Love was never meant to be a battlefield. at all. It was not. All right, what this could feel or look like for you, rooted and rising, which I kind of pointed it out, I think already, but whatever. Again, feeling emotionally safe with somebody, all right, or in an environment or work environment. And that's like safe to express your ideas and things like that, right? Experiencing mutual affection and emotional reciprocity. All right, allowing yourself to be vulnerable instead of guarded, like me. What? Ooh, playing the Matrix. I never meant anything harmful about it. I know some people just take, oh my God, you rejected me, and it's for me. It's like, oh no, we just don't do that in my household. So I don't know what you're doing. No. Okay. Oh, I know they're gonna be like, relax, girl. Relax. It's just a hug. Oh, okay. I hug my own parents. Okay. Anyway, allowing vulnerability instead of being guarded, choosing emotional truth over emotional suppression. Okay. All right. We'll go on to the Oracle card from the Bibliophile Oracle deck, Plot Twist. All right. Sudden change, pivot, excitement. Like I said, you can't stay in the doorway. You gotta move, right? All right. Spirit is almost feels amused by this card because the plot twist isn't what most people think it is. All right. The plot twist isn't that everything changes, but the plot twist is that the thing you secretly known was coming finally arrives. It's here, right? That's Mr. Marco. All right, and so for some of you, you've been feeling this energy building for months, some longer than that. All right, you sense that your life is moving towards a crossroad, right? You've sensed that certain chapters were reaching their conclusion, which we know that from one of the tarot cards. But anyway, you sense that certain chapters were reaching their conclusions. You sense that eventually decisions would have to be made, right? And now Spirit is saying that the momentum has started, all right? That wheel has turned, all right? That's a tarot card, the Wheel of Fortune. It has turned. That thing ain't finna stop, all right? It's gonna go to full completion of the world. All right, what once felt distant begins becoming tangible. All right, it's coming out. All right, what it was internally felt is going to come out. It will not stay because Spirit will just keep boop, 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 boop until you acknowledge it. All right, what once felt like a dream becomes a plan. All right, and this is not a horrible thing. This is actually a very good thing. It's just it doesn't mean, again, it's easy to do, but it's a beautiful thing. All right. Spirit is just saying it's time, and that's all. It had to wait for divine timing, which is why it didn't come out right away. When you felt it right away, it had to unfold and build over time as things clinked up, as things tore down, and as things clinked up, and as you became different, and as your divine connection, whether romantic or business partnerships, collaborations, associations, networkings, job environments, as things begin to turn around and clean up, all right? Those things had to happen, but meanwhile, the internal was building, all right? Meanwhile, the connection was building. The feelings were building. It was growing, all right? You might have been getting to know one another from a distance, however, or getting to know more about that place or whatever goal you had in mind as time unfolded, it, allowed you to get to know person, place, or whatever a little more, a little better. Also that it could unfold. So you can make a decision. Like, okay, I think I could do this. Like, okay, all right, that's good to know. You know what I need, know what you're getting into before you get into it. Before you just jump on in there, huh? All right, anyway. So again, momentum is starting, and what once felt impossible, rooted and rising, becomes practical. All right, what once felt distance becomes tangible. It's right here. And what once felt like a dream becomes a plan. All right, and yes, it may surprise people. It may not surprise many because people have eyes. Incense is rooted in rising. Those that are like you will be barking at people. What's your bears? Come here. Come here. Okay, you got to get that last one in. All right, we got to stretch. We got to arm to stretch first. Okay. All right. Are you coming or not? No? Okay. No, we're not going to do that. Come on. I'm going to put you in doggy jail. You don't want to come here? Come on. What we do? Okay. What we doing? What we barking at? Upsh. You want upsh? What are we? Oh, okay. Why are we barking? All right, boo. And stop. Okay. Nothing. There's nothing out there. All right. Anyway. All right. And it may surprise some people. And again, those who are observant, like you read in Rising, it won't surprise them. But anyway, it may create conversations. Yes. It may create opinions and gossip. But again, you can't control people. You can control you, and you are going to have to get okay. With where you're going anyway, you are going to have to get okay with people having their opinions and having stuff to say, and it not rocking or shaking you. It doesn't shake me. You can say what you want. And a lot of people do. And a lot of people say it to my face. People let me know just about every day how my very presence absolutely disturbs the hell out of them. Just be sitting minding my business, but oh well, it's your problem. It's not mine. How dare you sit there and look like yourself? It's literally all day, every day. Anyway, you're gonna have to be okay with it, especially where you're going, and especially the moves that you would like to make, and the things that you would like to build rooted in rising. You're gonna have to be very comfortable with opinions, gossip, people feeling some type of way, because expansion does not happen without people, doing that and feeling that way. It doesn't matter if everything is kosher. It doesn't matter if everything happens smoothly, because you don't want to sit still. You want more. You want expansion. You have a vision. Obviously you do, because the first card that Spirit led with was the Artist, to let you know you've got a vision. All right, you have a vision. You're putting things in place for that vision to come forth. You're not going to stay still. All right, people are going to have their opinion. People are going to be against you, and you have to discern sound advice from nonsense. All right, keep your circle small. Definitely, you need some lighthearted counsel, but you need at least one who does not care about hurting your feelings. Let me tell you the truth. You may not like him for about 2 days, but you get over it, because you're going to realize, I never tell them the truth. But anyway, you're going to have to get over that. People are going to talk. They're going to talk. Again, if everything unfolded like peaches and creams and, the rainbows and popcorn and sprinkles fell from the sky, people are still going to have something to say. All right. Then the Israelites got mad at the Lord for pouring manna down from the sky and feeding them with the manna. The manna wasn't good enough. I want leeks and onions. People are never satisfied. You just gonna have to get over it. Okay? It doesn't mean it's easy, but stand firm in who you are, Empress and Emperor. All right? And the more you act in Emperor and Empress, all right, people are just going to follow your lead. They are going to respect you. They may not like your decisions. What does Khalees say in the I'm bossy? And the first thing, what does she say? You don't have to like me. You don't have to love me, but you will respect me. All right. They will learn that from you. All right. However you set forth to how people have to respond to your expansion, to your Ace of Cups, and your artistry. And that's how they behave. All right. You act in full Empress mode. They don't have to like you, but they have to respect you. You act in full Emperor. He's the epitome of respect anyway. Full Emperor mode. They ain't gotta like you, but they got to respect you. All right. They may have something smart to say. Let them say it. They all know they're gonna put in their place quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right. And I always do. Even if I just smile at you so I can embarrass you for being totally disgusted with me sitting down somewhere, minding my business. I do it so funny because women are so mean to each other. Just like, look at you. You can tell, I don't even know you. Like, what is his face turning up for? You just looked at me just up, I turned my face up. How dare she sit here? It's just their own insecurity. So I smile at them. Embarrass you a little bit for just being insecure. But anyway, I don't know how I got off on that, but anyway, so forgot I was still holding you, Bubbles. You ready to get down? Only if you be quiet. All right. Okay. All right. Come on. No, you don't want to get down. Well, you're going to get down. I'm Marco. Come on. All right. Okay. You don't want to get down. All right. You got to be quiet. Come on. Go. No? Well, you didn't want to come up here. Now you don't want to get down. Anyway. Don't you go scratching at that door. That's what he's going to go do. Anyway. All right. We'll go off on that. I guess, well, yeah, again, what it looks like. Again, what Spirit says the plot twist. Again, the plot twist is only shocking to people who weren't reading the whole story. All right. The ones who were very observant, they already knew what was going on in the first place. So it's not really that much of a secret to those who are very observant, okay? Because if you pay attention, it's plain. All right, and that's all I'll say about that. What this looks like: unexpected opportunities, rooted and rising, major life changes, shifts that happen faster than expected. Marco is just sneezing. New beginnings that seem sudden to others, but have actually been building for a long time. All right, new connections that have been there, building over time, just waiting for something else to die. Waiting for, that tower moment where things are uprooted, dismantled, so they can be built on something firm and something real. All right, which is your Ace of Cups. It's already right here. All right. Okay. All right. Two of Swords. Yeah. The Two of Swords is the card of difficult decisions, crossroads. He's literally sitting like this. Two swords like this. All right, avoidance. That's what the card means. Being at a crossroads. Avoidance. All right, there is a decision to make, and you're not making it. You know you need to make it, and like I said, it's not about what direction to go. You already know what you want, or know who you want. You know what direction you want. It's more so about how. All right, but it's also avoidance. All right, if I stand in this hallway long enough, I'll be all right. If I close my eyes, it's not there. Anyway, okay. Indecision, all right. Avoidance, crossroads, all right. But this particular one is not because you don't know what you want or you don't know who you want. You're clear, but again, it may not be so black and white as to how to get there, okay? All right, but let's say an old saying. I don't know if other races say this too, but black people closed mouths don't get what? Fed. Open up your mouth and speak. All right, baby, what is wrong? No, come here. Come on, we're not doing this. I'm gonna just hold you. No, come on. Even if I'm gonna let you go, you're gonna be over there and be quiet. This means you're not growling at nothing. Marco. Anyway. So, crossroads, avoidance, or this, trying to keep this, this one relates. Anyway, trying to keep the peace while standing between two competing realities. All right. And Spirit says this card is acknowledging something very real, making a life-changing decision. And that's what this is. It really is. It's rarely difficult because we don't know what we want. Okay. Again, no one's saying that this is easy, you just should jump right in. No. All right. That's why, again, things had to unfold over time and why things have to be in divine timing. All right. Even as it comes out, it's still going to be unfolding over time. This is not any partnership, any connection that's supposed to be just like this, you need time to build something real and to really understand or get to know someone. Even if it's a partnership business wise, all right, you're not just you're not just gonna jump in bed, and just we'll see how it goes and just rush through it. No, even this has to unfold over time. When it's out in the open, when the opportunity is there, all right, and it comes together, it's still something that will still be unfolding, all right, because this is a real connection. It's not nothing that's just I'm doing this because I'm obligated. And, so there's no need to go step by step by step by step. All right, I checked all the marks, completed the steps. I'm done. No. All right, okay. So anyway, making a life-changing decision is it's not usually difficult because we don't know what we want, as was stated earlier. It's often difficult because we know exactly what we want and we understand everything that comes with choosing it. Things cannot and will not remain the same. All right? And it could feel like, be having an awareness that, choosing one path in this situation and with the two of swords, choosing one path means fully releasing another. All right? And that's what made this particular decision so heavy. It's not confusion, all right? It's one thing, trying to clear it out before opening another fully, all right? Even though the new is here, all right? So it's kind of, here, almost intertwined. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm trying to finish this, but this is here. Ace of Cups is here. All right. So I'm trying to get this finished in all the residuals that come with it. Done and complete. So that I've got enough emotional availability anyway to even pour into the new, right? All right. Okay. And so that's what has made the decision so heavy. It wasn't confusion. More like grief, all right? Because endings can be necessary and still be painful, all right? And for those, if this was a romantic connection, it doesn't mean because there's grief, that you want that thing back, and I'm going to talk myself, been there, done that. I have cried over the most horrific men and neighbor. I've cried. What the hell for, right? It's just grief. It's grief. It's like there was nothing about that connection or nothing about that relationship that wasn't toxic. So you feel like, the breakup should not affect you, but it does, all right? Because often entanglements do. You get all entangled in each other emotionally, mentally. You were physically entangled. You were all up in the mix and then trying to pull yourself apart from one another, is a thing. That's why we get just be careful who we connect with, okay? All right. And it's, especially if you're in situations, and in person I'm talking about, you ain't even, especially if you're in a situation where you make a child with that person, and I'm not even talking about the same person, but anyway, you make a child and it's something that you got to deal with for, a while, all right? Or you have to go through legal steps because, you got in a legal binding connection with somebody, all right? Those things still hurt. So pull it apart, it's like, damn. All right, expectations of what you wanted, it really wasn't what you wanted, and there's a loss, and then you got everybody looking at you, you got this, you got that. And once again, emotions, all right? It's still grief. It's still a loss, all right? Whether you got legally married or not, when you leave someone, even if you have children with them especially, so it's still a loss. Hell, it could hurt a lot more than a divorce with no kids. You can feel like y'all been married for 35 years. Okay, and that's it. And if you don't think it's true, it is, because you look at. Why do you think there's so much baby mama and baby daddy drama? Why is it a cliche? because you done made children with people, even if you don't like them. Drama. All right, one thinks they own the other. I don't want you. I'm gonna be frankly, bitch, I don't want you. But don't nobody else better be over your house. All right, they had a baby with you. They feel like they own you, right? It's just like being married, but it's not. And sometimes worse, right? All right, I own you, but I don't own you, in a sense. All right. It's emotional entanglements or those soul entanglements. It's still the same. All right. One is legally on paper. And of course, when you come together sexually, you've combined yourselves there with one another. And then one is because you have the baby. All right. That's why there's so much drama. Even if you don't want him and he don't want you. It's like I hate you for life. No, not everybody's like that. Some people actually are mature and get along, but I'm just saying why there's so much drama between people who supposedly don't want the other. All right. Or one can't get over the other. All right. Those soul connections are real. And because you had a child, it's real. All right. It isn't always about getting legally married. All right. Sometimes you didn't tie yourself all up by having children by him, and then you got to go to court, just like you was married in the first doggone place. If you want to sometimes do anything, and you got to deal with that one and ballot it out, even if that other person don't really want them. That's just the way they want to get back at you, just fighting with you legally in court with a child. But anyway, I don't know how I got off on that. But anyway. Endings are necessary, still can be painful. It doesn't mean that you want the person back necessarily, but you're mourning, all right? You're mourning a loss. It's a loss. It's heartbreak, and you're allowed to do that, all right? You've connected with not just the hope of what something could, but emotions were still invested, all right? All right, okay. All right, but again, endings are necessary, especially for the Ace of Cups to come in, all right? You can't move into a new chapter while keeping one foot planted in the old. And that's what the Two of Swords is about. Sometimes it's not about just, I don't know which way to go and I don't know what I want. I'm trying to close something. Yeah, trying to close something out, while making room for the new. All right. And it's not ideal, obviously, to have something open that is ending or has already ended, but sometimes there's just things in that ending that still have to be handled and takes time to do, but it's not ideal to want to start something new while having something old open. So the dilemma or the decision or the crossroads is not necessarily about not knowing what direction they want to go or what career path, what business venture, whatever that looks like, or what direction they want to go relationally with a person. All right. So it's not confusion. It's just partially grief and partially closing out the old chapter in its fullness. All right. All right. And I know it's hard sometimes to move into a new chapter while keeping one foot planted in the old. So the decision is really just letting go fully of the old before stepping into the new. All right. And this could look like, again, making difficult but necessary decisions, releasing situationships. It doesn't matter if it was a marriage, it's still a situationship. If it was toxic, or a long-term relationship or connection, situationship doesn't mean it's just that, it just means it was messy, right? Releasing situations that have run their course, all right, and choosing authenticity over comfort, again, because making a decision for what you really want is usually not going to come easy. That's hence choosing that over comfort, okay? And it doesn't mean that the transitions won't overlap. It's okay. It's okay if it does, and it likely will, all right? Because you want to make sure you don't miss out on your opportunity by trying to, dot every I, cross every T. All right. It's fine. It's called a conversation. All right. If it's a work opportunity, career opportunity, business opportunity, or business partnership or networking or something like that, or an actual relationship, it's a conversation. It's communicate. All right. Is let them know what the deal is. All right. If it's about feelings, well, talk to them about the feelings, talk to them about the situation. Usually, if it's your divine connection, they are more understanding than you think and more mature. All right. You're not dealing with somebody who's immature and doesn't know how to operate, doesn't know how to move, doesn't know how to be patient, or is, lacking in understanding and not capable of, what I'm saying, not capable of moving in a dynamic and in a way that things should be or have to be for a while. All right. If it's an opportunity, then communicate that to them, because you don't want to miss out on, you don't want to lose it, and they may be more understanding. Some places will give you a window of time when they know what's going on, but to just leave things out into the air in a guessing game, then you run the risk of a missed opportunity, and that's not what you want, rooted in rising. Okay. So our next card is from the Bibliophile Oracle deck. Book review, feedback, suggestions, critique. This is a wonderful one. All right. This is the card of opinions. All right. So this card feels deeply connected to someone who's visible, who lives a very visible life. Life is in the public eye. Rooted in rising, I believe this is, a nice majority of you. Because for whatever reason, since you are an expansive group, I think that you're very noticeable, or you may have a position or a role that you're more socially out there, if that makes sense, or you may be in the public eye, maybe in leadership or something like that. Okay, but anyway, someone whose decisions will naturally generate opinions because they're visible, if that makes sense. All right, and what Spirit is communicating through this particular card is that there is wisdom in listening. All right, listen, that's great. All right, but there is also wisdom in discerning. All right, because not everyone is offering an opinion that is full of wisdom or well-being, for that matter. Some people are offering projection or fear or judgment, especially if you're out and you're in a position that is very public. Lots of people have judgments, all right, and things to say, all right. And then you have some who are speaking from experiences that have nothing to do, honestly, with your life, rooted in rising. All right. There is a difference between feedback and noise. Obviously, one helps you grow, the other distracts you from your actual path. All right. And what this card feels like Spirit wants to do is just encourage someone to trust their own inner knowing, even while remaining humble enough to learn from others. Right. Not every voice deserves equal authority in your life. All right. But on a different note, all right, whatever you're headed to, all right, whether this is some sort of opportunity, whether this is a connection, all right, it's going to bring talk, and people are going to talk. They are going to talk about you, rooted in rising. I stated it earlier, you are going to have to be okay, all right, with people and their opinions, because they're going to have them. All right. Again, if everything rolled out perfectly, if everything happened perfectly, people will still have something to say because of who you are. You're expansive. All right. You're no ordinary man or woman. And you are in a position of leadership, which means you're visible. So they're going to have something to say. You have to be comfortable with people having something to say. I've gotten to a point in my life, I know I've said it, where I just don't care. All right. People have a lot to say out in the open to me, to my face. They let me know every day how absolutely perturbed they are by my presence. Okay. Some even, have the audacity to even just verbally tell me, all right, okay. I'm catching the stink eye everywhere I go. So it is what it is. You can smile through it. You can smile back at them and, allow them to, see the silliness of their insecurity. Or you could get mad, but there's no reason to get mad. People are just going to have something to say. And you have to really operate in emperor or empress energy. Okay? You have to remember who you are. They're going to follow your lead. If you act insecure and unsure and, duck and dodge, all right, that's just going to feed into it. Oh, great. We've got the divine one off of his or her throne. All right. But if you act as emperor and act as empress in full confidence and stand in your ground in who you are and stand in your ground in your choice, All right, then they will follow. All right, Khalees, her song, I'm about to say the beginning of her song. She goes, you don't have to like me, you don't have to love me, but you will respect me. All right, and they will follow your lead, rooted in rising. And if you stand in full confidence, again, that's what they will do. They will respect your authority. They will come under your authority and respect it. Remember, you're an emperor. Remember, you are an empress. All right. They don't bow to others. Others bow to them, right? All right. They don't bow for other folk. All right. You come into their presence and other people bow in their presence. Okay. So you stand in full authority and confidence, most of all. And then that's how people will react. Will they still talk? Of course. Will they still have opinions? Of course. But you have to learn to stand your ground and be firm in who you are, in your confidence, and being a divine being, and being absolutely remarkable, rooted in rising. And you have to be so sound in who you are. And, standing your ground in your choice. Your choices are your choices. There is not a one who hasn't gone through something that has garnered gossip. All right. There is not a person that's perfect. We all make mistakes. I have made plenty of them and have had plenty of them thrown in my face. Okay. But again, it doesn't faze me because I'm accountable. So I'm going to say it like, oh God, what's her name on the Housewives? She's right on there with Nene Leakes. Okay. Who going to check me, boo? Go ahead and just say it. Throw it in my face. Who's going to check me? It does not take me off my throne. I said it. I did it. Okay. Now what? All right. Was that supposed to diminish me? Was that supposed to make me feel small? I did it. I said it. So what? Now that we have that out in the open, what did that accomplish? Was that supposed to make me feel small? All right. You better take on that attitude, especially since you are in expansive mode. That's who you are. You're going to have to take on that attitude because you're going to meet that everywhere you go. All right. Because this is not going to be the first big thing that comes your way. Whether relationally or opportunity wise, it's not going to be the first thing that comes your way. All right. You better stand your ground because you're going to be tested everywhere you go. All right. People are going to try you because of who you are, because you are visible, because you are moving forward. All right. Because you are leadership. All right. And just because of your light. All right. Okay. All right. Rooted in rising. So let's move on to the next card, which is death and cycles. So we have deaths from the tarot and cycles from the Cosmic Insight Oracle deck. All right. And death is transformation. Cycles speaks of fate, karma, endings, and beginnings. So together, these cards are, impossible to misunderstand. And they pair well together. All right. Something is ending. Something has ended. And the ending was inevitable. All right. It was going to happen. It wasn't built on anything firm. It wasn't built on anything solid. Even before the connection may have come together formally, or even you might even have reservations if this is even just, like a job or something, even reservations on taking it, but it looked good on paper. All right. But anyway, the ending is not the tragedy. It isn't. It may feel like it, it's like those tower moments where everything is just uprooted, right? Dismantled. Oh my God, they can feel that way, but it's really not the tragedy. It's actually a very beautiful thing. All right. It's a very life-changing thing, but in a fantastic way, right? In a way that is actually more than beneficial. All right. This ending is actually speaking of bringing in legacy energy, bringing in what you wanted, bringing in firm foundation, bringing in stability, bringing in the love and emotional safety. But it is an ending nevertheless, right? Nevertheless, but it's not the tragedy. All right. The resistance to the ending, that is what creates the suffering. Okay. We can often try to hold on to things just because that's what we know, or because the new thing we're stepping in again is unknown, or because it completely dismantles or changes life as we know it. All right. It means everything is going to change, and it has to. It will, and it has to. If you truly want what you want, you truly want the kind of life that you're striving for, rooted and rising, then it will. All right. This new opportunity is just the beginning, all right, of transformations for you. This is just the catalyst, the stepping stone, all right, to what's next. This is very beautiful, all right, but this is going to get you what you need to get you where you really want to go, all right? Whether this is the connection that you need in order to be able to build that thing, all right, because often you get paired to do business. That's why there's partnerships. That's why there's networking. All right. We are often paired or joining to work on something. We're not meant to do it alone. All right. Or to even work or get that thing that you want, career wise, or wherever else you're trying to go there. All right. It is a total dismantling of the current life that you know. And sometimes we can hold on to what is already there, because this is going to bring a lot of stuff, a lot of gossip, a lot of talk, and again, a lot of disruption in your life, but in a good way. All right, things just have to be reconstructed on firm foundation and reorganized and redone. All right, but it is what it is. All right, it is what it is. All right, this chapter reached its conclusion long before paperwork finalized anything, long before conversations ended it, long before the final release, whatever that looks like in whatever dynamic it is for you. Okay, the soul knew first. The soul knew immediately. The heart knew first. The energy knew first, right? Now it's just simply catching up, right? Now it's just outward. It's like, what was in is out, all right? Even in the ending, all right? All right, so what this can look like is major life transitions, moving, relocating, changing workplaces, changing career paths, releasing old identities, right? You're no longer who you were because you matured and grown after you've gone through some things, completing karmic cycles, situationship, toxic relationships. It doesn't matter if you were married, toxic is toxic. Stepping into an entirely new chapter of life, separation, divorce, one person moving out, and whatever else. All right, that's what those things can look like. All right. We'll leave that there, right? Because I think that speaks for the most part for itself and to what I said, right? So we have toxic love and boundaries. Those are our two cards that we have next. Those are both from Oracle decks. All right, and these two cards are, they're paired together because they tell one story. All right, toxic love speaks of attachments, right? Attachments that are disguised as love. All right, emotional entanglements. Those are often attachments that it feels like love because it's heavy, it's thick. It's pulling. You can't be away from them, but it's emotional attachment. Totally different than love. Kind of like that devil energy, where it's not really rooted in anything genuine, in any real love, just mine, and that's it. Just attachment. I can't live without you, but it isn't really love. It's toxic, all right? You belong to me, all right? It's a lot different than genuine love, all right? Pain disguised as passion. Control disguised as commitment. Lies, manipulation, that's control. Half-truths. Playing games and mind tricks to get your way or to control somebody else's emotions or to control their actions and what they do and their well-being. All right. But boundaries appears immediately after. All right. Because eventually there comes a moment when someone says enough. And this enough is not rooted in anger. It's not rooted in cruelty, but just from plain old clarity. All right. That this is not real love. This is not genuine. And I can't carry on this way. All right. And I deserve more. And I deserve respect. A real loving connection built on trust, built on love, built on respect. All right. And love doesn't look like rainbows and sprinkles 24/7. Sometimes real love is in the tangible pentacle energy, grounded earth energy. All right. Taking care of the real mundane things. It really speaks of longevity. It's actually real genuine love. But anyway, all right. And even if this is a toxic work environment, all right, oh my God, office spaces are the worst environments for gossip and who's been with who and who's doing what. And oh my God, in cliques. All right. Who likes who and don't like who. All right. So this can even speak to those environments as well. All right. But anyway, you're moving and operated and made your decision that enough was enough out of clarity. All right. So this is someone who has spent a very long time trying to negotiate peace with a situation that was never interested in peace, a person. And often rooted in rising, when you're dealing with a manipulative personality, peace is not the on the agenda. All right. It's just I want what I want, and my everything will be about getting what I want at whatever costs. Long as it's not, as it's not inconveniencing me, I'm great. All right. So, at the cost of you and rising, as long as it's at your cost, they're willing to do it because it's about getting their way. It's about control. It's about I want what I want, and you're a means to an end to get what it is that they wanted. All right. So it became more, you tried, I guess, to keep the peace. And even if it was just walking around on eggshells, constantly placating this person because telling them the truth is going to hurt their feelings, and then they're the victim and you're the one that's wrong. Or, just things like that. My goodness, is just the simple things become difficult with people who are like this. Just the simple things, right? All right. So eventually the lesson becomes understanding that boundaries, again, are not punishment. Punishment for them, peace for you. All right. Punishment for them, but self-respect for you. All right. And protection of your dignity, of your emotions, of your mental well-being, of everything about you. All right. You are too wonderful. All right. Too much of a light to allow these kinds of personalities and these types of attachments to treat you less than what you are. It doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine. All right. Our masculine energies have feelings too. All right. They have feelings too. All right. And they want to feel loved too. All right. And definitely respected. And likewise for our feminine energies. Okay. I just mentioned that because we tend to believe that masculine energies don't need emotional connection or support as much as the feminine, and they do, especially if you want them to reciprocate it to you. If you are a feminine who is paired with the masculine, because that's your choice. But anyway, there's a line between what you're willing to carry and what you refuse to carry any longer, rooted in rising. So this could look like maintaining healthy distances if you have to still deal with them, if you have children or something like that, or business connections where you still have to deal with them until you can untangle yourself. Choosing peace over chaos, protecting your future from past patterns, and just refusing outright manipulations, even if it's those crocodile tears that they use to manipulate you with. They're the victim and now you're the wrongdoer. But I really heavily feel like this energy was a manipulative energy. Even if it's a work energy or a partnership, was very manipulative, all right? Very cunning, very behind the scenes, very calculative energy that used to play games in that way. If I can't have what I want, well, then I'll be cold, all right? If I can't have what I want, well, then, you not getting none tonight, sir, or madam, or whatever. Right? Again, if you don't do what I want you to do, again, I'm going to cross my legs. You're not going to touch this in a long time. Punish you that way, right? I'm going to be cold to you. I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to act like you don't exist because I didn't get to have my way. Right? Anyway. So Spirit's just showing that rooted in rising for, whoever this connects with. You spend some time trying to negotiate peace, but you can't do that with people, with a party or situation or a place that's not interested in negotiating peace. They just want what they want. And you just better damn well give it to them, right? And that's all that's important to them. That's all you are to them. A means to an end. All right? All right, and eventually the lesson becomes understanding that boundaries are not punishment. It's not. It's punishment for them, not for you. It's punishment for the workplace because you're holding the building down, rooting the horizon. They don't want you to go. They don't want you to go to that new thing, that new horizon. So it's punishment for them, but not for you. All right? Boundaries, peace for you. Again, you're not wrong for wanting and protecting your peace, despite opinions saying that you are, and you're not. Protect your peace. Tell them if they want to deal with it, they can go deal with it. See how they like it, okay? All right. If they think that you're wrong for enforcing boundaries because you want your peace, you're addicted to your respect, then tell them that they are free to go deal with the situation. All right. Okay. Just saying. Anyway, boundaries are not punishment. They're protection. They are self-respect. All right. And you deserve self-respect. You deserve that. You deserve respect. And you deserve a environment and a reciprocated connection that gives you respect. All right. And believes that you deserve it. All right. And not going to treat you like a means to an end. All right. All right. Or a bottom line. What's in it for me? That's what I'm supposed to be. What's in it for me? Well, I'm just saying. That's how people treat me. That's all she wants. No, honey. I learned. I don't take you. You give me something, you know. Especially a man. You give me anything. I don't know. I had to. I really. I have a great deal of trust for you because I've learned a long time ago. You don't take anything from a man. They expect something from you. So no, honey. You have a hard time giving me anything. And I don't got the patience. I don't got the energy. I don't got the energy for gold digging. I just don't. You spend way too much time and energy trying to get somebody to give you something that you really could just get up and go get. If you want to give it to me, great. I have learned not to take advantage because why? I know the value of what was put into having to go get that. The energy, the time, the work. That's wonderful. All right. But no, I am not one that just takes very easily. Because for me, it means, what do you want? Or it means then you feel like you can control me. So absolutely not. There's no what's the bottom line, Miss Jessica Rabbit. And so beautiful. Give me things. No. But anyway, you deserve respect rooted in rising. You deserve it. All right. And don't let nobody make you feel otherwise. If they think you should sit in something, well, tell them that they're free to go sit in it. All right. I guarantee you they wouldn't. They just want to judge you. All right. Anyway, this looks like for you refusing manipulation. Yes, even those tears, right? Refusing that. All right. Maintaining healthy distance, choosing peace, and that's for people who have to still deal with the person, especially if you have children with them, you got to deal with them somewhat. So, you know, always, but sometimes you do. All right, choosing peace over chaos, protecting your future from past patterns, all right? And some of you just, when things are final, they're final, and cutting it off, all right? And sometimes if you have children with them, then you obviously you have to go the legal right to eliminate rights so that you can also have no problems in the future. All right, let's move on to the Ace of Pentacles. This is long enough. All right, you know, after the Ace of Pentacles, you know, we have a nice group together. So we're almost done. Okay, Ace of Pentacles, two wands, vacation, from one of our oracle decks. All right, this is beautiful. So now Spirit shifts the energy entirely here, because we're not talking about endings now. All right, we had the emotional beginning, but the Ace of Pentacles is beautiful. All right, that's the tangible. Remember, our Pentacles is our earth energy, the physical, the tangible. All right. Again, suddenly we're not talking about endings. Oh, sorry. No longer talking about that here. I'm looking for something. Anyway. We're talking about what comes next, right? A real opportunity. Again, that thing in the beginning that caught your eye while you were looking for other options at work. I really am teasing. Okay? Teasing. I can neither confirm or deny doing those things. Okay? But that thing that called you, like, oh my God, I could really step into that. You know what I mean? That's something I could really do, you know? And even you maybe, well, you know, is that something I can do? Even question it, but you're still drawn and pulled to it, and look deeper into it, and maybe beefed up your resume while things were dismantling where you were, getting you ready for that thing. You didn't even know that. Or that person that went like, ooh, ooh, sexy lady, who's that, right? Ooh, something about him. Let me take him in. Let me look at this thing, for a while. Not necessarily your thing, but I'm just saying, let me just, observe here. I don't know what that's about. Something's different. That's for sure, right? Soul recognition. Like, I don't know, something about it. All right. Something tangible. All right. A real opportunity. Ace of Pentacles. That's the new foundation. All right. And the Two of Wands is the expansion. All right. Remember, the Two of Wands comes before the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is when you have, the Two of Wands is planning. The Three of Wands is you did all the planning and things. You're setting forth. You set it on out there, and now you're looking for your return. You're looking and waiting out in the horizon in expectation for what you planned and set out. All right. So now, right here, Ace of Pentacles, new foundation, real opportunity, something tangible in the real, it's coming on out in the realness, right? The Two of Wands is expansion, planning, vision. That's the connection or the opportunity. All right. So looking toward the horizon and deciding where you're going, right? And then vacation, that Oracle deck speaks of travel, movement, and stepping into a new environment. All right. Actually going into the thing, the tangible, that work search career. I'm looking for another career. All right. The travel, the movement, you're stepping into that thing that caught your eye, or that man, woman that said your soul was like, oh, something's different there. Something about that one. I don't know. I like it. Keep my eye on that one for a little while here. All right. All right. Is coming forward. All right. It's time for it to come out instead of just being all internal. All right. So Spirit keeps showing that this is someone whose life begins expanding very quickly, though. Once they stop pouring energy into managing what is ending. All right. It doesn't mean that this thing is not coming forward while this thing is ending. It is. All right. This thing is still ending, but this thing is now coming forward, and you're willing for it to come forward, but obviously you're not pouring 100% into it because this thing is still ending. All right. But you're managing through it. All right. You're no longer at the state of, okay, no decisions. This is the tangible. All right. It's here. I have, I don't know, what's it called? You have opened up your mouth and you've gotten fed. Right? All right. You let it be made known what it is and had that conversation. All right. You let the opportunity know what it is and had the conversation and set things up so that, once that fully complete, you can walk into it. All right. You just said, let's have the conversation, and you did. All right. All right. So it's not like that just went away. It's there, but you're not going to be able to give this 100% until it does. And that's fine, because this new thing has to move slow anyway. So it's not like I gotta hurry up and we got to hurry up over here and do this. No, there's not going to be no rush in the new. All right. It's going to be built on something firm, something sound. All right. Something real, longevity that lasts. Okay. Because you've got something to build together. You can't build things like this. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Okay. All right. But it will move more quickly once this other thing fully ends. All right. It will go quicker, but not rushed. There's a difference between something moving quickly and something being rushed. Rush is unplanned. All right. Moving quickly is things are flowing. So it's able to move unhindered. All right. That's a better way of saying it. It's able to move unhindered. All right. But not that it's moving rushed. All right. All right. Okay. So again, it moves more quickly once, energy is not having to be put into what is ending. And that is because the energy becomes available again for what's beginning. All right. But there are strong themes always with you, rooted and rising, of movement, just travel, relocation, new opportunities, business growth, and building a future here. It don't matter if I pull on the sky being blue. Rooted and Rising, you get cards on expanding, traveling. So there's no part of your Rooted and Rising that's small. You are moving and expanding and traveling. Sometimes new opportunities and growth. Sometimes just even the expansion doesn't mean that you're literally moving. Or the what do you get a lot? Adventure or something like that, going on a new like adventure. Sometimes it's not just travel, it's just the whole thing that comes on, that starts to come with the new thing. But anyway, you're building a real future here, not surviving but building, and building something that's just wonderful. All right, whether it's just the connection or other things, but in the connection there is beautiful things that is going to be built within that connection, beautiful things within the community, even if it's just solidifying something within the community. All right, even if it's just something with, I guess if it's a connection, something with the connection, being open and with the community and building there. All right, getting a lot of that, a lot of community action here with you, Rooted and Rising. You seem to be a very public face. All right. Okay, so we'll move on to the Devil. 9 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, pregnancy. All right. We should be surprised. I did do that. There is a Rooted and Rising collective message on baby making energy, and that was about really building in order for that to come naturally, right? We know things have to be set up a certain way when, new life is coming in. All right. So that just spoke of the solidity of things and how stable things needed to be and would be with you as a whole, whether it was talking about an actual physical baby or, something being birthed or something that you're expecting. All right. Especially our divine connections where our emperors are coming together with their empresses. Empresses are they're fertile. To that, but that doesn't mean not necessarily the real actual pregnancy. It means she can take and nurture your ideas, take and nurture the things that you want. She's gonna take that thing and she's going to nurture it. All right, she's gonna fertilize that thing, nurture it. She's gonna carry it in her womb. All right, and she's going to give birth to it, and it's going to bring forth abundance. It means with her, or whatever Empress looks like to you, however you identify, you can grow. All right. When the Empress is in reverse, it's barren, not bearing fruit. Nothing can come out of it. That's what you're leaving. All right. When she's upright, all right, it means she's fertile. It means that is ground for growth. All right, because she's nurturing. All right. She's about fruitfulness, abundance. So why a lot of her cards are always shown with fruit or a sickle, because she's got an abundant harvest with her. Whether she is working with you on the business, there's something about her being there. The Empress is what I'm saying. The Empress energy being there that allows growth, but not just, it grew a little, abundance. All right. Okay. All right. So anyway, got off on there. The Devil appears as a final warning. Okay, that's fear, attachments, old change, old stories. All right, and those can be like contractual attachments or, binding contracts. So binding contracts, like marriages. If you have children, sometimes when they have, if both parents are on the birth certificate, they have rights. So you can't just do what you want to do. You have to battle it out, right? Binding contracts. Anyway. That's what the Devil can also speak of. Fear, attachments, those binding contracts are attachments. Old change, old stories, old patterns, trying one last time to convince you not to move forward, Rooted and Rising. And Spirit says, don't mistake. Fear for intuition. They are not the same thing, Rooted and Rising. All right, because immediately after the Devil comes the 9 of Pentacles. All right. Confidence, security, self-worth, also independence, right? Financial independence, all right? Right, in the tangible, yes, or financially independent, right? But also someone who knows their value, confidence. They know who their worth, who they are. All right, someone who has built something meaningful, someone who stands firmly in who they are. And then after that, we have the 2 of Cups, which is partnership, mutual love, reciprocity. And if it's not talking about romantic love, again, some of you operate on a business level those are still partnerships that are reciprocated and mutual. You want to be on the same page business wise, even in collaborations where one has one expertise, one has the other. You still need to be on the same page to work together. You can't have somebody want to do what the hell they want to do. You're not going to get nothing done. All right. You're going to have a lot of conflict and tension where everybody's going one way and you decide I'm going to do what I want to do over here. Okay. Anyway. Two people choosing one another freely, not from obligation, not from pressure, not from fear, all right, but because they genuinely want to, all right, and paired with pregnancy, all right, understand that this, for some of you, rooted and rising is literally, all right, so some of you, literal pregnancy, and then also symbolic, and I already kind of explained the Empress, right? Because a lot of her times she is depicted as pregnant always, and that's because she's fertile, but she's also abundant. So that's what that depiction is about. But for some, when that card comes out along with the sun, right? When the sun comes out, you're like, oh, somebody's having a baby. But it depends on what you're asking. Okay. But anyway, I ain't talking about rising. I'm saying I'm not putting nothing on nobody if you don't want one. I'm just saying. All right, I wanted children but didn't want to be pregnant. Those two can exist together, all right? I wanted a whole big old family, but I didn't want to be pregnant. When they told me, no, Lord Jesus, no. But at the same time, I don't know how you think you were going to get a family without being pregnant. But anyway, I'm just saying, I'm not putting nothing on nobody, but for some of you, a literal child, and some of you, symbolic, okay? And for others, the symbolic, again, the birth of new life, new family, all right, a new chapter, a new future, all right. But either way, creation is the basic theme, all right, with that, all right. So something is being conceived now that will completely change the direction of the future, all right. Just like this connection or this opportunity was conceived months or some even years ago, where it was like, oh, something about that's pulling me towards it. Or something about him or her. Oh, Lord, who is that? I'm just going to keep my eye. I don't know what in the world. Why can't I get this person off my, what in the world, you know, just like, just like that kind of, you know, kind of was conceived. And then right now it's being brought forth. All right. With baby or pregnancy. It's the same. It's the same kind of thing. All right, same thought or whatever. So anyway, creation's the theme, all right? But something is being conceived now that would completely change the direction of the future. Either way, something is being